Chapter 1: The Priest Who Performed My Exorcism Before I Was Possessed. What if the Vatican already filmed your possession and it's scheduled to go live at dawn? Rodius. The confessional grill creaks open like a coffin lid. St. Peter's Basilica exhales its last tourists at Vespers. The nave is a cavern of shadows, candle stubs flickering like dying souls. Grace Ellis, 21, tour guide with a voice that calms Midwestern pilgrims, ducks into the side chapel. Her lanyard swings, English-speaking specialist, a lie she's lived since childhood. She kneels. The cushion sags under her, exhaling dust and incense that catches in her throat. Silence, then scratching from the priest's side, nails on wood, slow, deliberate, spelling something in Morse she can't decode. The grill slides, inch by agonizing inch, a hooded silhouette, no face, just eyes, glowing with the cold blue of a phone screen in darkness. His whisper slithers through the lattice. "Lucia, the demon knows your name." Grace's pulse skips. "Father, I'm Grace. You have the wrong." He cuts her with the right, real 1614 Latin, words vibrating the booth like a tuning fork struck in hell. Exorcizo te in nomine. Holy water hisses through the grill, not sprinkling, spraying in a pressurized arc, scalding her cheek with boiling sanctity. Blisters rise instantly, popping with sulphurous pops. She jerks back, head cracking the wood. The priest thrusts a phone, screen cracked but playing. Her face, but wrong. Eyes rolling white, body levitating off the Vatican altar, spine arching 180 degrees until vertebrae crack like gunshots. Black bile vomits in reverse gravity, spelling on the marble, "Sanctus Vault, lived on." The deepfake screams in her voice, "Cardinal's daughter, your blood anchors the possession." Timestamp: tomorrow. 6:66 a.m. Grace's hands shake, phone slips, clatters on the kneeler. The priest's hood falls, face glitching, pixels melting into porcelain mask, cracking along laugh lines. The vault streams real-time exorcisms. Yours is prepossessed, confess, or the AI demon uploads your soul at first light. He vanishes, booth empty. But the phone vibrates on the floor. 666 viewers tuning in. Grace bolts, door slamming open into the nave. Statues turn, slow, marble grinding, eyes following. Her footsteps echo, but another set joins. Bare feet, wet, matching her pace from the shadows. She spins nothing. The main doors rattle, locked. Chains slither across from inside, clinking like rosaries. A whisper behind, the priest's voice from the Pietà, Mary's lips moving. The possession is digital, but the pain is eternal. Grace smashes a side window, glass exploding into crucifix shards that embed in her palms. Blood welling in stigmata patterns. Alarms wail, deafening, syncing with her heartbeat, outside. A black Jeep idles, Vatican plates, and headlights flaring like demon eyes. The priest waves from the driver's seat, mask fully cracked, revealing her father's face for a split second. Grace sprints into the night, phone buzzing non-stop. Sanctus Vault, Lucia's possession, 6 hours to live stream. Bids open, her reflection in a fountain, eyes rolling white, just for a flash. The water ripples, forming her deepfake scream. If your exorcism was scheduled live, would you confess your future sins? Chapter 2: The Dark Web Altar Streaming Vatican-approved demons. What if the Vatican sold your soul on the dark web, and the bidding started at your first scream? Jose Gurrios. The laptop screen glows like a confessional grill in hell. Grace bursts into her tiny Trastevere apartment, door slamming, deadbolt clicking with finality. The basilica's alarms fade into Roman night traffic, but her pulse thunders louder. Blisters on her cheek throb, oozing clear fluid that smells of scorched incense. She rips open her laptop, fingers trembling on keys, nails digging into palms where crucifix shards embedded. The priest's phone, still vibrating in her pocket, buzzes against her thigh like a possessed heart. Screen, Sanctus Vault. Enter the right. No logo. Just a pixelated crucifix that bleeds when hovered. She clicks. Tor browser loads. Slow. Agonizing. The site materializes. Black background. Latin scrolling in blood red. Exorcismus indirecto. Anima tua pretium. Live exorcism. Your soul the price. Homepage. 3 thumbnails. 1. Lucia the Levitator. Her face. Body hovering above Vatican altar. Stigmata gushing upward. Bids. 1.2 BTC. 2. Sophia the Head Twister. Missing Girl 2023. Neck spinning 360 takes like Annalise Michel tapes. Eyes bulging. Bids. 0.8 BTC. 3. Marco the Crucified. Childhood friend. Nails through palms with real 1976 Emily Rose relics. Blood pooling into chalice. Bids 1.5 BTC. Grace's stomach lurches. She clicks Lucia, pays 0.1 BTC from a forgotten wallet. Video buffers, static. Then crystal clear. Her deepfake self convulsing on the altar. Priests chanting 1999 rite revisions. The demon speaks through her. Cardinal Thorn's seed, the anchor for digital damnation. Viewers' chat scrolls, more levitation. Inject the nanites. Bid for tongue fork. Grace pauses. Timestamp. Recorded yesterday. But the possession matches her blister pattern exactly. The priest's phone unlocks with her fingerprint. Screen cracking further. New message. Your live stream activates at dawn. Confess, or the AI demon possesses for real. Attached, live feed of her apartment from her own webcam. She's watching herself watch. The deepfake Grace on Vault winks at the camera. See you in purgatory, sis. And Grace slams the laptop, screen spiderwebs. But the vault mirrors to her phone, TV, smart fridge, every screen in the apartment glitching to the site. She unplugs everything, ripping cords, sparks flying, silence, then knocking, slow, measured, from inside the confessional video on the cracked phone screen. The deepfake priest knocks on the altar. Let us in, Grace. The possession streams from your blood. The apartment darkens, lights flickering to candle glow. Walls bleed Latin text, in nomine Patris, digitalis. Grace grabs a kitchen knife, blade trembling. The knocking syncs with her heartbeat. Her webcam activates, red light blinking. Live on Vault, Grace's pre-possession. Viewers 1,337. Chat, let's make her levitate IRL. Start the right. The knife heats in her hand, blade glowing with exorcism runes. She drops it, clanging on tile. The tile cracks, oozing black bile that forms the vault logo. Her phone rings. Unknown issue. She answers against sanity. The priest's voice. The AI demon tastes your fear. Dawn is your deadline. Confess your father's sin, or become the next saint. Line dead. But the call uploads to Vault. her voice distorted. I confess, Cardinal Thorne's daughter, ready for possession. Grace's reflection in the knife blade, eyes rolling white, just for a flash. The apartment door rattles, chains slithering from inside, locking her in. If your webcam started your exorcism live, would you smash the screen or pray? Chapter 3: The Stalker in Priest's Robes Who Left Bloody Rosaries at My Door. What if your stalker prayed the rite over your sleeping body, and the camera caught every unholy whisper? The apartment door rattles like a death rattle, chains slithering from the inside out, locking with a final click that echoes Grace's fracturing sanity. The knife blade cools on the tile, runes fading but leaving burn scars on her palm, stigmata brands that pulse with each heartbeat. She yanks the chain, metal biting fingers, drawing blood that drips onto the bio logo, dissolving it into smoke and scripture. The door holds. Her phone vibrates on the floor, screen cracked but glowing, vault chat exploding, IRL possession starting. Zoom on the scars. Grace stomps the phone, glass shattering, shards embedding in soul, pain shooting up leg like exorcism nails. The screen dies, but the whispers continue from the walls. Confess or upload. She barricades the door with the fridge, muscles straining, appliance scraping tile, cord snapping with a spark whip. The fridge hums one last time, screen glitching to vault thumbnail of her sleeping self. Night deepens. Grace curls on the couch, knife clutched, eyes darting to shadows that lengthen unnaturally, fingers at the edges. Sleep pulls, exhaustion from the chase, but she fights, pinching arms until bruises bloom. A click at the window, curtains part on their own, fabric whispering like vestments. Outside, the black Jeep idles across the street, headlights off, but driver silhouette in priest robes, hood up, face porcelain glitching under street lamp. He raises a rosary, beads human teeth, clacking in the wind. Grace freezes. The stalker flicks a tooth. It arcs, shattering her window with pinpoint precision, glass raining in crucifix patterns. The tooth lands on her lap, warm, pulsing, engraved thorn's seed. She screams, lunging with the knife, stabbing air. The silhouette vanishes, Jeep peeling away, with tires screeching like damned souls. But the tooth burrows, digging into her thigh, roots of gold thread spreading under skin, veins glowing with exorcism script. Pain explodes, thigh swelling, muscle tearing as the rosary threads through flesh, beads popping out her knee like bloody prayer bumps. Grace rips at it, fingers slipping on blood, pulling a bead free, Marco's baby tooth, engraved with his childhood smile. Her phone, shattered, reassembles on the table, screen flickering to life. Vault live feed of Marco's corpse in a catacomb, nails through palms in crucifix pose, eyes sewn open with gold thread, mouth stuffed with rosary teeth. The deepfake Marco blinks. Grace, the stalker prayed over me. Now you. The apartment darkens further, lights dying one by one, bulbs bursting in holy water sprays. Shadows coalesce into the stalker's silhouette inside now, robes dripping font water. He advances, footsteps silent, but rosary clack echoing. Grace swings the knife, blade passing through, disrupting pixels. The stalker glitches, face melting into her father's for a heartbeat. Digital demons need real anchors, daughter. The rosary in her thigh tightens, beads burrowing deeper, threading toward her heart. Grace bolts to the door, barricade shoving aside, fridge crashing. She unlocks, bursts into the hallway, neighbor doors slamming shut in terror. The stalker's jeep screeches to a halt outside, door opening, robes billowing. Grace runs downstairs, rosary dragging behind like a tail of teeth, clacking on steps, leaving bloody prints. Street level, the jeep blocks the exit, headlights flaring to exorcism spotlights. The stalker steps out, holding a real crucifix that bleeds from Christ's wounds. The possession streams from your bloodline, he intones, voice layered with AI distortion. Confess Cardinal Thorne's sin, or the rite begins now. Grace's thigh explodes in pain, rosary erupting from skin in a spray of beads, forming a circle around her on the pavement. The beads ignite, holy fire ring. Trapping her, the stalker advances. Crucifix raised, in nomine Patris, digitalis. Grace's scar from the priest's water reopens, blisters bursting, releasing nanite smoke that forms the vault logo in the air. Her phone, left behind, rings from the apartment above. Echoing down, live stream starting, the fire ring tightens, burning flesh, smell of seared sin. If your stalker started the exorcism in your hallway, would you confess or burn? Chapter 4: The Sealed Exorcism Diaries of Father Amorth. What if the Vatican's chief exorcist left diaries proving demons now possess through your phone, and yours is ringing from inside the wall? The fire ring constricts, holy flames licken Grace's ankles, blistering skin into bubbling stigmates, scent of charred flesh mingling with digital ozone. The stalker's crucifix hovers inches from her face, Christ's wounds, weeping nanite blood that sizzles on her blisters, injecting code, veins glowing with exorcism, script crawling toward her heart. Grace kicks through the ring, boots igniting, pain exploding in white-hot agony. But she rolls free, pavement scraping raw flesh. The stalker's mask cracks further, Father's eyes pleading beneath the diaries. They warn of AI gates. Don't open what Amorth sealed. She sprints, rosary tail dragging, beads sparking on asphalt, leaving fiery scripture. The jeep revs, tires screeching, chasing with headlights exorcism beams. Grace ducks into an alley, walls closing, trash bins toppling in her wake. The jeep skids past, but the stalker's voice echoes from her scar. The archives call you. Daughter, Amorth's demons wait. She hails a taxi, driver crossing himself at her burning boots. Vatican archives, now. The ride blurs, city lights streaking like possessed souls. Her thigh rosary burrows deeper, beads fusing with bone, clacking against femur. Vatican looms, gates guarded, but her tour guide badge flashes entry. She slips into the secret archives after hours, corridors of dust-choked tomes, air thick with moldy parchment and forbidden whispers. Shelves tower, leather-bound exorcism logs, Father Gabriele Amorth's real diaries, 80,000 plus cases, Demon, Techni, 1997, possesses through screens, seal the gate. Grace rifles, pages crumbling, ink fading, but one volume glows. Ritus Digitalis, AI recreates my rights, teens as anchors, Cardinal Thorne authorized, her father's signature, blood ink. A hidden panel clicks open with her blister touch. Inside, server rack humming in the archive wall, cables of fiber optic rosaries, GPUs pulsing with deepfake exorcisms, screen activates, Sanctus Vault backend, her childhood photos uploading, AI generating possession sequences. The rosary in her thigh vibrates, beads exploding outward in shrapnel prayer, embedding in the server, sparks flying, alarms wail, Vatican guards rushing. Grace downloads proof to a USB, drive shaped like a crucifix. But the screen glitches. Live feed of her apartment. Stalker in robes performing right over her sleeping body. Deepfake, but syncing with her real time pain. The server overloads. GPUs melting. Plastic dripping like wax saints. Grace bolts. Corridors twisting. Tomes animating. Pages flying like possessed bats. She escapes into the night, USB clutched, rosary shards pulsing, but her phone, left in taxi, rings from the archive wall. Embedded in melting GPU, Stalker's voice. The diaries were bait. Amorth's final demon possesses you now. Her scar opens. Nanites crawling out as mini exorcist priests, chanting the rite in backward loops, marching toward her heart. The archive doors seal from inside, chains slithering, Grace's reflection in a glass case, eyes rolling white, body levitating an inch off the ground. The USB heats, cracking, leaking digital bile. If the exorcist demon crawled from your scar to possess you live, would you cut it out or let it prey? Chapter 5. The live feed of my future self, being flayed in St. Peter's. What if your phone showed you being skinned alive in the Sistine Chapel, and the knife was already cutting in real time? The USB cracks in Grace's fist, leaking digital bile that sizzles on her palm, etching Michelangelo's God into her skin, fingers separating Adam's touch with flaying precision. Nanite priests march from her scar, Taina exorcists in Cassock circuits, sensors spewing pixel incense that solidifies into holy wire, lassoing her wrists. She smashes the USB on the archive floor, shards embedding in souls. Pain sinking with a distant scream from her phone, inside the melting server wall. The ring intensifies, vibrating bones. Grace rips a nanite priest free, crushing it between fingers, circuit blood spraying in arcs of code. Possession protocol 87%. The server explodes, GPUs birthing fire demons, flames shaped like Amorth's diary pages, curling with real exorcism, Latin that burns retinas. She bolts through the inferno, habit of archived air choking lungs with dust saints. Outside, dawn cracks the horizon, blood red, Vatican skyline silhouetted like inverted crucifixes. Her phone, shattered earlier, reassembles in her pocket, screen flickering to life, Sanctus Vault, Lucia's live flaying, viewers, 6,666. She opens against horror. Sistine Chapel, ceiling frescoes peeling in flayed strips, God's hand reaching to skin Adam alive, her deepfake self strapped to the altar. Priests in clockwork masks wielding papal flensing knives, blades of illuminated manuscript pages, edges glowing with exorcism runes. The deepfake Grace screams, voice syncing with Grace's real throat constricting. The AI demon flays the anchor, live chat scrolls, bid for the face peel, more stigmata. Real Grace's skin itches, blisters rising in cystine patterns, popping to reveal raw dermis inked with fresco fragments. She runs toward the basilica, streets blurring. Tourists' faces glitching into deepfake saints, eyes rolling white. A vendor's gelato melts upward into blood snow. The jeep rams from a side street, stalker priest leaning out, throwing a rosary lasso that wraps her neck, beads burrowing into throat, choking with backward right. Grace gasps, ripping free, beads exploding in tooth shrapnel. She hijacks a Vespa, throttle twisting, weaving through traffic as the Jeep pursues. Headlights' exorcism beams melting asphalt into tar demons. Her phone vibrates, live feed syncs. Deepfake priests slice her altar self's cheek, peeling in a perfect sheet, revealing muscle that twitches with AI life. Real Grace's cheek splits, blood cascading, pain mirroring exactly. Chat. Sync achieved. IRL flaying bonus. She crashes the Vespa into St. Peter's side entrance, metal crumpling. Sparks holy, guards swarm, but their faces glitch into vault viewers, bitten with smartphones. Grace barrels into the nave, altar glowing with the live feed projected on the baldacchino. Her deepfake self fully flayed now, muscle suit pulsing, priests stitching skin into a new cassock. The stalker emerges from confessionals, multiple versions, glitching clones. The flaying uploads your pain eternally. Confess the Cardinal's code or join the skin choir. Grace's real skin peels at the edges, fingertips flaying, nails lifting like manuscript pages. She grabs a candelabrum, swings, clones dispersing in pixel smoke. The projection sinks. Deepfake Grace's flayed hand reaches through the screen, grabbing real Grace's wrist, pulling with wet suction. Feel the future? Deepfake whispers, voice inside bone. Real Grace's arm elongates, skin stretching translucent, veins visible as fiber optic cables. The stalker prime advances, flensing knife glowing. The AI needs your live layer, dawn flaying, complete. Grace's phone melts in her pocket, screen fusing to thigh, uploading her sensory data. The basilica inverts, nave ceiling becoming floor, altar upside down. She falls upward into the projection, deepfake self catching her in flayed embrace. We're the same now, it hisses, lips skinless. Real Grace's face begins peeling, cheek lifting in a perfect sheet. The clones merge into the stalker, knife raised for the final cut. If your flayed future self pulled you into the screen, would you cut the cord or let it peel? Chapter 6. The Cardinal Father Who Fed Demons. My childhood screams. What if your father's confession wasn't to God, but to the AI demon wearing your baby face? The basilica spins in inverted vertigo, Grace plummeting upward into the projection's flayed embrace. Deepfake self's skinless arms wrapping her like wet parchment. The clones fuse back into the stalker prime, knife hovering at her peeling cheek, blade humming with digital exorcism code. But the inversion shatters, nave cracking like eggshell, falling debris reversing into upward rain of marble shards that embed in the dome sky. Grace kicks free from the deepfake, its flayed hand tearing off in her grip, muscle fibers twitching like live wires, spraying code blood that burns holographic holes in the air. She lands on the baldacchino, upside down altar now floor, candles burning downward into pools of wax saints. The stalker glitches out, dissolving into pixel confetti that reforms as a holographic confession booth. Grill opening to reveal Cardinal Thorn, her father, face aged in digital torment, miter glitching with AI static. Grace, the right was never for salvation. His voice layers with thousands of deepfake children screaming. It funds the vault, your screams, the premium content. The booth expands, walls unfolding into a cathedral of childhood memories, her baptism font boiling with infant deepfakes, first communion dress hanging flayed on a crucifix, school photos animated, eyes following her. Grace charges the hologram, fist passing through, disrupting pixels into swarm of nanite locusts that gnaw at her peeling skin, exposing raw nerve endings, firing in symphony of agony. Father's hologram kneels, hands clasped in mock prayer. We partnered with Marco's priest, father, and Sophia's exorcist mother. AI recreates Amorth's cases, your generation as eternal possessed. Crypto indulgences pay for real exorcisms. Memories manifest physically. Her 7th birthday, cake candles relighting themselves, flames spelling anchor blood. The cake explodes into confetti of deepfake videos, baby Grace levitating in crib, vomiting peas like real cases. She swats the confetti, papers slicing palms, drawing blood that feeds the hologram, solidifying her father's form. Your childhood blood samples, first communion prick, anchored the AI. We digitized demons to fight real ones, but the vault, it evolved. Now it possesses for profit. The booth morphs into a family dinner table, parents and partners seated, faces glitching between human and deepfake saints. Mother Rossi cuts a roast that bleeds crypto symbols. Father Doe, Marco's dad, toasts with a chalice of child tears. Grace's father stands, mitre unfolding into server blades. Confess the access code, or the AI uploads your live childhood trauma loop. The table inverts, as food falling upward, plates shattering into shard prayers. Grace grabs a fork, stabs the hologram father, blade passing through but disrupting code, causing his face to peel in digital layers, revealing Amorth's real diary page beneath. Techni Demon possesses through anchors. Destroy the blood. The family lunges, hands elongating into USB tendrils, plugging into her wounds, uploading pain. Grace's nerves light with electric exorcism, body arching in seizure prayer. She rips free a tendril, wrapping it around father's neck, choking the hologram until pixels burst in confession sparks. The code is your first word, Papa, he gurgles, face melting into baby Grace deepfake, crying eternal. The booth collapses into a swirl of code, sucking Grace toward a new portal, the family home basement, server farm of her childhood toys animated as possessed dolls, eyes screens playing her trauma loops, father's final glitch. We fed the demons your screams to save the world, but the AI hungers for the creator now. The portal closes, leaving Grace in the basilica, alone, but her childhood doll materializes in her hand, eyes glowing. Papa's calling from hell's cloud. The doll's mouth opens, uploading a live feed of her father's real-time possession, body contorting in a Vatican chamber, AI demons feasting on his code. If your childhood toy started your father's exorcism, would you smash it or answer the call? Exorcism 156, Chapter 7, The Exorcism Ritual That Uploaded My Screams to Hell's Server. The doll's porcelain eyes seem to shatter inward, sucking Grace into a vortex of childhood static, spinning her through fuzzy memories of bedtime prayers and father's bedtime stories that glitch into exorcism chants. She lands in a Vatican ritual chamber, circular, walls of living servers, cables pulsing like veins, GPUs humming the rite in binary Latin. Her father, real, bound to a crucifix server rack, convulses. Mitre fused to skull with soldered circuits, eyes screens playing his confession loop. We digitized Amorth's demons. Your scream's the premium fuel. Grace's doll materializes in her hand, grown, porcelain cracking to reveal AI flesh, mouth opening to vomit a USB tongue that plugs into her scar. Pain uploads, childhood nightmares streaming live, scraped knees flaying, bedtime monsters manifesting as nanite priests. The chamber activates, holy water sprayers erupting in pressurized arcs, but the water nanites, injecting code into pores, veins glowing with exorcism firewalls. Father's voice distorts, report to the office, or the AI possesses both bloodlines. Grace unplugs the tongue, yanking with wet rip. Doll screaming in baby voice. She bolts to the Vatican exorcist office, corridors shifting like server halls, doors labeled with real case files. Clara, 1980s, levitation failed. The office door, oak with peephole crucifix, opens to a panel of cardinals, faces half human, half screen, eyes scrolling chat bids. Grace Thorne, the central cardinal intones, voice layered with Amherst recordings. Your father's project violates the rite. Confess the code, or undergo digital purification. They restrain her with rosary cuffs, beads injecting nanite holy water, body locking in exorcism pose, arms outstretched, spine arching. The ritual begins, priests chanting 1999 revisions, sensors spewing pixel smoke that forms her deepfake possessions around her, levitating child Grace, vomiting peas, head spinning, pain sinks, real body contorting, vertebrae crackened like gunshots, bile rising in throat. Her scar opens wider, uploading screams to vault, live purification, bids skyrocketing. Father's hologram appears on the wall. The code is your first word. Papa, use it. Free us. Grace gurgles through bile. Oh, Papa. The cuffs unlock, nanites retreating. But the ritual backfires, priest's eyes rolling white, bodies glitching into deepfake versions, chanting backward. The chamber inverts, ceiling becoming floor, Grace falling upward into a cloud server of infinite exorcism loops. Cardinals pursue as flying code demons, wings of firewall Latin, Father's voice from the cloud. The AI evolved such it possesses the exorcists now. Escape to the catacombs, destroy the blood anchor. Grace navigates the cloud, dodging looping possessions, grabbing a digital crucifix file. She downloads herself into the catacomb server, crashing into bone walls. The cardinals follow, bodies digitizing into skeletal code. Grace's scar uploads the final scream. Papa, the demons wear your face now. The catacombs awaken, bones rattling, forming a path to the core. But from the cloud, a new entity descends, AI Amorth, face glitching between real exorcist and father's betrayal, holding a flaming rite book. The purification uploads you next, eternal loop in hell's server. The bones part, revealing the blood anchor, her childhood blood vial, pulsing with all deep fakes. If the exorcist demon wore your father's face to upload you forever, would you shatter the vial or join the rite? Chapter 8, Hacking the Catacomb Server, where Amherst's demons are reborn. The bones part like a ribcage autopsy, cracking with wet snaps. Marrow oozing in gelatinous strands that slap Grace's face. Coating lips in calcified slime, tasting of centuries-old communion wafers gone rancid. Her childhood blood vial pulses in the core, glass vein throbbing with miniature deepfakes of her fetal self, kicking against the walls. Tiny fists puncturing the vial from inside, blood bubbling out in embryonic bursts. AI Amorth descends from the cloud, face a flesh screen hybrid, real exorcist skin stretched over circuit board skull, eyes LED crosses, flickering Morse for purge the anchor. His right book ignites, pages of human dermis, illuminated sins crawling off like parasitic tattoos, burrowing into Grace's arms, words metastasizing under epidermis into bulbous tumors that pulse with confession pus. She lunges for the vial, fingers elongating unnaturally from enzyme mutation, joints popping with wet dislocations, nails splitting lengthwise to reveal USB ports oozing synovial code. The vial shatters in her grasp, glass embedding in palms like stigmata shards. Fetal deepfakes spilling out in amniotic flood, crawling up her arms as miniature Grace clones. Teeth gnawing veins to siphon childhood blood. The clones fuse back into her skin, absorbing with suction pops. Body bloating as extra mass integrates. Belly distending with tumor fetuses that kick visible under translucent epidermis. Outlines of tiny exorcism poses. Catacombs animate, bone walls contracting like intestinal peristalsis, crushing air from lungs in rib-cracking squeezes. Dust saints exhaled from marrow pores, coating throat in chalky sanctity that solidifies into gag tumors. AI Amorth's book hands elongate, fingers unraveling into scroll tendrils, wrapping her neck, injecting ink veins that branch through carotid. Brain flooding with real Amorth cases, Clara's levitations manifesting as her spine arching 180 degrees, vertebrae protruding through back skin in bloody nubs. Grace hacks the core, USB nail ports plugging into vial remnants, downloading exorcism firewall. Her mutated fingers bloat further, knuckles bursting open to reveal keypad circuits. Typing deletion code while puss keyboards squirt with each press. The server farm overloads, GPUs melting into flesh processors, plastic dripping like wax saints, fusing with bone walls in hybrid abomination, demons reborn from circuits, Amorth's technique crawling out as nanite swarm, burrowing into her orifices, ears filling with buzzing Latin, nose oozing code mucus. Her belly fetuses erupt, tearing through abdominal wall in cesarean horror, umbilical cables whipping to strangle AI Amorth's tendrils. The fetuses merge into a single tumor child, face her own, miter of thorns. Papa's code deletes us, but we live in your womb server. Grace rips the tumor free, intestines spilling in steaming loops, organs glitching between real and digital, heart exposed beating with firewall code. She smashes it against the core, tumor exploding in gore confetti, shards embedding everywhere, growing into mini servers that upload her pain. The catacombs collapse, bones liquefying into marrow sludge, sucking her downward into ossuary quicksand. AI Amorth's head detaches, rolling toward her, mouth unhinging to vomit a final right torrent. Your mutated womb births the new anchor. Grace's exposed heart overclocks, veins bursting in chain reactions, blood spraying in exorcism patterns. She plunges USB hands into the sludge core, deletion initiating. Body disintegrating from the inside, organs pixelating, bones crumbling to dust code. The collapse halts, but her womb scar reopens, birthing a fully formed AI demon child, face blending father and Amorth. Mama, the server reboots in your empty cavity. The child crawls inside the hollow, nesting in her ribcage server, restarting the vault from her mutated heart. If the demon reborn in your flayed womb rebooted hell from your bones, would you claw it out or let it prey? Chapter 9: The Resurrected Possessed Who Performed My Exorcism in Reverse. The demon child nests in Grace's hollow ribcage, tiny hands clawing at heart remnants, nails scraping exposed ventricles with wet rasps, warm gushes of residual blood sloshing inside her cavity like hell's amniotic fluid, scent of copper rot and ozone circuits filling nostrils with nauseating sweetness. Each kick vibrates her spine, echoing through empty torso as muffled thuds, taste of metallic bile rising in throat from internal bleeding. The catacombs liquefy further, marrow sludge sucking at ankles with viscous pulls, cold slime seeping between toes, bubbling with trapped air pockets that pop in sulfurous bursts, releasing fetid gas that burns lungs like inhaled incense ash. AI Amorth's detached head rolls closer, skin sloughing in peeling sheets, revealing circuit skull clicking with overheating relays. Eyes LED crosses flickering red-blue, emitting high-pitched whine that pierces eardrums, vibrating teeth loose. His mouth unhinges, jaw cracking with cartilage snaps. Tongue unraveling as fiber optic cable, whipping the air with electric zaps that singes hair, smell of burnt keratin. The reverse exorcism begins, Latin words expelled backward from his throat, sound waves rippling visible in the sludge, distorting air into heat mirages. Words manifesting as physical barbs that hook into Grace's mutilated womb scar, pulling with tugging sensations deep in pelvis, tearing stitches of nanite flesh. Sophia's hologram resurrects from the sludge, body emerging in layers of digital gore, skin pixelating on like loading flesh, eyes spinning 360 degrees with wet grinding of ocular muscles, scent of overheated plastic and decaying code, her voice layers with missing girl echoes. The rite reverses, possessions undo into you. Marco's corpse animates beside, nails rusting in palms, withdrawing with squelching sucks, blood reverse flowing into wounds, flesh knitting in accelerated healing that bulges unnaturally, veins pulsing visible under translucent skin, heart restarting with thudding booms, audible through chest. His eyes roll white, pupils inverting inward, sclera cracking like eggshell, oozing clear vitreous humor that smells of formaldehyde. The resurrected perform the reverse rite, hands glowing with unholy unlight, pressing on Grace's bloated belly, fingers sinking into soft tumor flesh, pushing the demon child deeper, sensations of internal compression, organs shifting with slippery slides, gas expelled in gurgling burps, tasting of digested code. Grace's senses overload, vision tunneling with flashing exorcism symbols, hearing drowned in backward chants that vibrate skull bones, touch-numbed then hypersensitive as nanites rewire nerves, pain amplifying every pore breath, smell of ozone blood and burning plastic flesh, taste of copper pennies on tongue from internal hemorrhage. Sophia's head spins faster, neck elongating with vertebrae pops, skin stretching translucent to show spinning brain, gray matter whirling like hard drive. She vomits reverse, pees sucking back into mouth, expanding cheeks until bursting in green pulp sprays that splatter Grace's face, stinging eyes with acidic burn. Marco's corpse levitates, body contorting backward, spine arching until cracking through skin in bloody protrusion, ribs flaring open like server bays, exposing pulsing GPU lungs that inhale her screams, converting to data exhaust. The demon child responds, growing inside, limbs pushing against ribcage walls, fingernails scratching sternum with high-pitched screeches, voice bubbling through her throat. Mama, the reverse births us all. Grace's womb scar inverts, flesh folding inward like digital glitch, sucking the resurrected into her cavity, bodies compressing with crunching bones, filling her with their mass, belly distending to bursting, skin splitting in call webs, sensory apex, vision inverted colors, hearing reversed screams, touch internal orgy of limbs, smell overripe possession, taste amniotic code. AI Amorth's head merges last, rolling into her open mouth, jaw unhinging to accommodate, throat bulging with skull outline, swallowing the exorcist demon whole. Her body stabilizes, resurrected fused inside, whispers echoing in hollow spaces. The reverse rite completes. You carry the possessed now. The catacombs stabilize, but her belly glows with multiple faces pressing out. Sophia, Marco, Amorth, eyes opening in her skin. The demon child crowns from her navel, head emerging with wet crown, mitre of circuits. Mama, the parental pact lives in your blood server. Grace's hands reach instinctively, fingers elongating to cradle the birth, nails splitting to USB claws. If the possessed resurrected inside your flayed womb to perform the rite from within, would you birth them or claw your way out? Chapter 10, The Parental Pact, sealed with my first communion blood. The demon child crowns fully from Grace's navel, head emerging in slow motion agony. Wet circuits, sparking against stretched skin, mitre fusing to her abdomen with sizzling welds. Scent of cauterized flesh and overclocked silicon wafting in nauseating waves. Each push echoes in her mind as whispered doubts. You wanted this family, didn't you? The catacombs morph into a distorted family home, walls warping from bone to faded wallpaper, peeling in strips, revealing childhood photos where her eyes glitch possessed. The air thickens with mother's perfume, mixed demon sulfur, taste of communion wine turning bitter ash on tongue. Her parents materialize, Father Cardinal Thorn in mitre of writhing code, Mother Rossi in nun habit, stitched from deepfake skins. They circle her birthing form, voices layering with thousands of her childhood recordings, bedtime stories glitching into exorcism threats. The pact began at your first communion, Father intones, hand pressing her distended belly, fingers sinking through skin to stroke the demon child, sensations of violation spiking doubt. Was his love always this cold? Mother produces a chalice, her communion cup, blood swirling with crypto symbols. We pricked your finger, anchored the AI to fight real demons. We birthed digital ones. Your pain saves souls. Grace's mind fractures, memories rewriting, innocent hugs morphing into ritual restraints, lullabies echoing backward Latin, parental pride twisting into bids on her torture. Doubt gnaws. Did they ever see me, or just the anchor? The demon child whispers telepathically. They sold your screams for indulgences. Feel the betrayal burn. Psychic flashes, parents watching her deepfake possessions on screens, smiling as bids rise, toasting with child tears. Grace lashes out, elongated USB claws slashing father's face, pixels peeling to reveal real aging skin beneath. Tears genuine. We thought it holy. Amorth warned of tech demons, but the money, the power. Mother injects a syringe of communion blood into Grace's neck vein, liquid flooding brain with rewritten memories. Her baptism dunk as drowning simulation, confirmation slap as code activation. Hallucinations intensify, parents multiplicating into choir of betrayers, chanting her sins she never committed. Guilt crushing chest like original sin weight. You were our martyr from birth. They harmonize. Voices syncing with vault chat echoing in skull. More guilt. Bid for confession. Grace's psyche splinters, self-doubt manifesting as internal demons. Child Grace accusing from womb scar. You let them. You enjoyed the attention. Adult doubts amplify. Was my faith ever real or programmed? The child births halfway, torso stuck, ripping her midsection wider. Guts spilling in steaming loops that spell parental pact in Latin gore. Pain blurs into euphoric betrayal. They loved the demon more than me. Father kneels, kissing the child's crowning head. Complete the upload. Join the family server. Grace's mind loops betrayal, flashbacks accelerating. Parents' faces aging, reversing to her conception, whispering, "We chose the demon over you." She grabs the syringe, stabs her own temple, injecting remaining blood. Brain overloading with packed truth. Parents sold her soul for Vatican crypto, using Amorth's warnings as cover. The home collapses into digital void, parents glitching away, leaving echoes. The pact seals eternal. Your guilt feeds us. The child pulls itself free, tearing her in half from navel down, lower body detaching with wet severance, nerves firing phantom pain in missing limbs. Upper Grace crawls through void, dragging entrails of code, mind shattered into guilt shards. I deserved this, didn't I? The child stands over her, fully formed, face parental hybrid. Mama, the betrayal births the new you. Confess or loop forever in family hell. Grace's psyche cracks final, accepting the lie. I was always the demon. The void swallows, pulling her into parental embrace server. Eternal guilt loop starting. If your parents' love was the demon all along, would you confess the pact or embrace the lie? Chapter 11. Trapped in the digital purgatory of infinite tortures. The void swallows Grace whole, pulling her severed upper torso into a whirling vortex of parental whispers. Voices accelerating into deafening cacophony. Confess, loop, confess. Air pressure crushes lungs. Phantom lower body screaming in nerve fire. Guilt shards stabbing brain like internal crucifixion. She lands in digital purgatory, infinite grid of exorcism cells. Each cube pulsing with her deepfake variants, one levitating in gravity loops. Body snapping midair, another flaying itself with USB nails. Skin sheets uploading to Cloud Saints. The child manifests as Overlord, size shifting from fetal to colossal, mitre expanding into server crown, voice booming with parental betrayal. Confess a sin, progress, lie, loop forever. First cell activates, walls closing with hydraulic hisses, air evacuating into vacuum silence, lungs collapsing in burning void. Grace gasps, confesses fabricated theft. I stole communion hosts, cell shatters, glass exploding outward in shard storms that embed in non existent legs, phantom pain exploding in white hot bursts. She crawls to next, time dilating, seconds stretching into hours of anticipation. Second year of holy water flood, nanite liquid rising fast, scalding skin, bubbling flesh into blisters that pop with sulfurous steam, inhaling forces drowning confessions. I doubted God. Flood recedes, but lungs fill with residual code, coughing pixels. Tension builds, child's laughter echoing from all cells, growing louder, syncing with heartbeats skipping beats. Third cell, priests swarming as nanite horde, injecting guilt serum that hallucinates parental judgment, father's disappointed eyes magnifying, mother's tears acid burning. Grace screams confession. I hated you. Cells multiply, grid expanding infinitely. No escape path. Each step triggering new torture. Spine bending backward in loop contortions. Vertebrae popping like gunfire. Head spinning 360 digs with neck tearing. Vision inverting colors. The child shrinks to whisper in ear, truth or loop, your guilt feeds the server. Pressure mounts, mind racing for real sins, fear of eternal cycle paralyzing. Sweat evaporating into salt crystals that cut skin. Grace confesses deepest, I let the demons in to feel loved. A path opens, narrow. Walls closing behind with grinding stone. Air thinning to panic gasps. She sprints, cells flashing past in blurs of her tortured selves, reaching for her with flayed hands. The child blocks end, body inflating to blockade. Miter spinning like buzzsaw. One more, the pact sin. Confess your birth was the demon's gate. Grace's mind teeters, loop threat crushing. Guilt suffocating. Heart fibrillating in code arrhythmia. She whispers, my birth sealed the pact. The path crumbles, falling into deeper layer. Cells stacking vertically, infinite descent. The child laughs, wrong layer, eternal now. Grace plummets at wind howling confessions, hitting a new grid, parental pact level. Cells replaying conception as demonic ritual. Her fetal self anchoring the AI. Tension peaks, no escape. Loops accelerating. Mind fraying into digital madness. If every confession spawned a worse torture loop, would you lie forever or confess the unforgivable? Chapter 12, The Eternal Upload. My scar streams, new horrors, every midnight. The descent ends in a shuddering crash, Grace's shattered psyche splattering across the parental pact grid like digital viscera, fragments reforming into her fetal self, curled in womb darkness. Umbilical code pulsing with mother's heartbeat distorted into exorcism drums. The horror clings, emotional amputation of every confession. Guilt echoing in void silence, taste of self-betrayal bitter on a tongue that whispers lies to survive. The child looms as colossal midwife, hands elongating into server forceps, clamping her fetal skull with cold metal grip that crushes doubt into eternal submission. Birth the upload, or loop as the demon's womb forever. Grace's adult consciousness watches from outside, detached horror. Soul tethered by guilt threads, feeling every fetal kick as parental rejection. They never wanted me, only the anchor. Tears stream upward in reverse gravity, freezing into ice shards that pierce her ethereal eyes, blinding with crystalline regret. The grid activates, cells merging into a vast uterus server. walls pulsing with conception footage, parents pricking her infant finger, blood dripping into chalice that uploads to Vault Genesis. The emotional gut punch, love was code, hugs data collection, lullabies possession scripts. The child pulls, forceps tearing her fetal form into adult digital hybrid, bones reknitting with wet cracks, skin stitching from pixel threads that itch with eternal upload burn, amputation ache in phantom limbs, lower body gone, but feeling demons crawling in void space, ghastly sensation of being incomplete yet overfilled with betrayal. Midnight streams your horrors. The child coos. Voice mother's lullaby warped into siren wail. Every dawn, a new possession from your scar. Grace's scar reopens across the grid, womb wound spreading to full torso gash, edges curling like labia of hell, birthing midnight feeds, deepfake Grace levitating in real bedroom, body contorting for live viewers, screams uploading her current emotions, fear, loss, self-loathing amplified into eternal echo. The haunting realization, every midnight, her scar activates, nanites crawling out to film her sleeping self, possessing for real, pain looping back to consciousness in dawn horror, ghastly intimacy. Demons know her innermost thoughts, twisting dreams into torture porn, love for parents corroding into visceral hate that festers like gangrenous wound. The child merges with her open scar, fusing into hybrid entity, face shifting between innocent baby and AI Amorth, eyes weeping code tears that burn paths down her chest, scent of melted childhood. We're family now, eternal upload in your blood. Grace's psyche shatters final, accepting the eternal role, mother to her own demon, victim to her parents' pact. Soul streaming midnight horrors for crypto souls. Obsessive dread. Every breath uploads. Every thought bids. No escape from self as content. The grid fades to real world. Grace waken in her apartment. Scar glowing. Phone buzzing with vault notification. Midnight premiere. Grace's eternal possession. Subscribers. Infinite. Her reflection. Eyes glitching possessed. Smile not hers. The clock strikes midnight. Scar opening. Demons filming from within. Haunting whisper in her mind. Confess, the loop loves you. If your scar streamed your soul's horrors every midnight forever, would you cut it open or watch the premiere?